Hey guys, the Duda 2 here. This is going to be part 2 of my making a Goban video. The first video was a very brief overview, just kind of showing you some of the materials you need, giving some brief explanations of different ways that I've made Go boards and other people. This video I want to just kind of go through the steps and a couple little tips, and then as I make my Go board, I'll be going through these steps and recording them as I do them. And I'm going to try a couple different methods, just kind of mess around with them so you guys kind of know what to expect. So basically, I'm just going to read from the paper here. First thing is you want to determine what type of board and what size of board that you want. What that means is there's floorboards, which are very thick, so that you set it on the floor and you play across from each other. And there's table boards, which could also be kind of thick, but you generally want them a little thinner. This way you could kind of look down at the board, and they're the board that most people play with. You set on the table across from each other. Once you've determined the type of board that you want, most people watching would probably just want a table board. That's what I'm going to be making. You want to determine if you want a full 19 by 19 board, or 13 by 13, or a 9 by 9, or the standards, or any other smaller, larger. It just depends on what you want. I'm going to be making a 19 by 19 full-size board for mine, but the steps still apply for the other ones. Then you want to pick your wood. If you're looking for a cheap wood that's, it's a decent wood, we use it for construction. Pine is a good cheap wood, and a lot of people say that it makes a good sound. As I said before, I made a couple boards of pine. Actually, I have one right here. Don't look the best as far as discolorations and such, but it sounds good. I've been through this before. It's got a nice sound to it, and good sturdy piece of wood, right? And I'm sure, you could stain these whatever color you want, and maybe even confuse people, so they don't know that it's pine. Generally speaking, you want a harder wood, or at least a semi-hard wood, because they scratch and nick the softer the wood. It's all things to consider. Sensei'sLibrary.com has a list of the different traditional woods. Like, I know the Japanese like using kaya, shinkaya, which is a type of spruce. The Chinese like using rosewood, and other woods, and the Koreans, etc. They all have their types of wood that they like. I guess being an American, we're big on oak, so maybe we can make some nice oak boards or something. I'm not really entirely sure what type of wood I'm going to be using yet. As I said before in the last video, I got it from a table. So I'm going to try to figure that out for you guys. Maybe ask a carpenter, somebody who knows something about wood. But once you figure out what type of wood, you don't have to necessarily shop by color, because there are wood stains for any color. There's even a spruce wood stain at your local Home Depot, Lowe's store. So you can get, the authentic color if that's what you're after. I myself, I showed you last video, I have a darker stain. It should be nice. So once you pick your wood and you pick your stain color, if you're planning on staining, then what you need to do is you need to cut it, and I'll be going over that next video, cutting the wood. And then you're going to want to prepare the wood. Once you cut it to the proper specifications, you're going to want to sand it, and sand the heck out of it and get it nice and smooth how you want it. And I'll be going over some sanding methods. I myself kind of screwed up on the sanding a little, so I'll show you that and my attempts at trying to fix it. Once you sand it, after it's sanded, you want to make sure it's totally clean, and then you want to stain it. If you're going to want to stain it, then you stain it. And then what you're going to want to do is, once you get it stained and set and it's ready to go, then you want to measure your lines. And there are a bunch of methods for doing that. You could use your rulers, you could use a square, I've even downloaded a template I'm going to try, and I'll show you all these different methods, and I'm sure there are more that I'm going to miss, but I'll try to cover everything. And then once I measure the lines, you're going to want to apply the lines, and you could do that also various ways, which I'm going to mess around with. Usually you want to put the lines on first with a pencil so that you could erase them, and and it gives you a good visual. You can make sure everything lines up good, and then you can go over it with paint. You can go over it with a magic marker, a permanent marker. If you want, you could take a katana or a sword with a slight curve to it and roll it down the lines. A lot of the expensive Japanese boards, they do this with a dull katana. And some of them even would put ink on the katana. I mean, I can't do that, but I do have a katana that I'm going to try. The only thing with that is I believe it has to be, I mean, the wood can't be too hard, and it can't be laminate either, because the laminate won't indent with a katana, at least the laminate I tried. You could also use a wood burner. That's what I did with one of my other boards. Just wood burn the lines. And there are pluses and minuses, advantages, disadvantages to each of that. So those are things that we're going to mess around with. So basically, once you get the lines on, then you're going to want to add your star points, right? Your dots in each of the intersections. And there are a couple different ways of doing that. You could maybe take a drill out the holes. You can get a drill gauge and find the hole size that you want, and put it down and dip your permanent marker on it. That's what I did with this one right here. I just found the drill gauge and set it center and just magic marker it. This is all permanent marker in it. It held up, worked good. I don't know how the permanent marker will work with stain, so we're going to figure that out too. And then if you want to protect it, you probably want some type of, maybe a polyurethane or something, but then again, you need to read, because it may or may not work very good with stain. I'm assuming the polyurethane will work good for anything. And once you get all them steps done, in theory, you should enjoy your board. Hopefully everything goes well and you make it. So these are the steps that I'm going to be following, and as I said before, for instance, when I cut the board, I'm going to show you different methods for getting different types of boards, like pushing planks together and sanding it to make wood, or I'll show you my cheap method of just taking an authentic Go board and putting it on and just tracing around it and cutting it. My video on picking the wood, and I'll show you how I stain it, and I'll show you me sanding it, try to get it down, and then I'll show you how to apply the different methods of putting lines, and we'll compare, figure out what we like. But I wanted to get this step-by-step video down for the people who are going to be making making Gobans or this Go board with me, because some of you guys expressed an interest, so maybe we could make it together, kind of like we studied the Joseki together. That's about it. My next video, like I said, is going to be cutting your boards, picking your type of wood, and a couple methods for making sure it's squared, stuff like that. Again, I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything, but I'm not a carpenter. I'm going to probably say that every video. I'm not a professional woodworker or any means. My wife will tell you that. So that's it. I'll see you guys next video. Hopefully I do right by you guys, because you guys got a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer them all. Alright guys, thanks. Have a good one. Later.